Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to use the bevel type in random panels and quickly make a background asset. For simplicity, I'm going to demo this by modeling a crate, but hopefully show you some functionalities you're still not aware of in the add-on. Here, I'm quantifying the topology and putting some edge flows where I want the randomization to create more details, since the random solvers are affected by topology. Let's go ahead and select all the faces, then use random panels. I'm going to use one of the presets, then switch the type to bevel. Compared to inset, bevel is purely destructive and makes the panel cuts like the panel cutter add-on. And the big difference between the two is that bevel cannot offset the top faces that make up the panel islands. Again, since the randomization is affected by topology, increasing the subdivision cuts makes for more faces that can be used to create random details. Play around with the seed value until you see a pattern that works for you. Alternatively, you can also modify the panel size to create more variation per seed. Larger panel size means more relaxed areas, and smaller panel size means more detail. The panel cut edges will be automatically marked with seams by the script for faster UVs. We can unwrap the mesh with a straight UVs operator using the UV limit. It's not perfect, but this is a quick way of making sure the textures later on line up with the faces. Since the bevel type cannot offset faces, you can manually do this by selecting the top faces of the panel islands, then use the Alt-S hotkey to that effect. You either do manual details, then add randomization, or randomization first, then manual details after. Let's add the starter materials using the Append Materials operator and use the Airflow panel soft UV with a suffix UV indicating that the material uses UV mapping since we already unwrapped our mesh. This is not a drag and drop material since textures typically react to object scales, so we need to modify this just a little bit to fit our model. Let's reduce the scale so the textures looks bigger on the mesh and also modify the foreground node shader that comes with the add-on. Be sure to have the Node Wrangler add-on enabled for you to use its preview feature by Ctrl-Shift left clicking on a material node. You can modify the position or look of the texture by changing its X and Y location in the mapping node. We can also add a vertex color as base color using the random vertex color operator, but since the mesh is unimesh and not composed of separate face islands using the ensign type of random panels, we can use the sharp limit, which randomizes the vertex color based on sharp edges. The mesh already has marked sharp edges, but just in case, you can use the mark sharp toggle to mark sharp edges by a sharpness threshold. Use the vertex color attribute created by the add-on and replace the RGB node in the material. You can control its intensity using the mix node set to overlay and adjusting the color to or B input to white as 0 factor and going to black for more strength. Okay, so did you know that you can use random cells to create light emitting faces? Just use the emit size 3 or 5 preset and the script will automatically assign an emit shader to the random mesh created by the operator. You can increase the subdivision cuts to make the faces smaller. And the great thing about this is that compared to shaders, you can go to edit mode and erase the faces that you don't want, or change the position of others. To scale the individual lights or faces, set the pivot point to individual origins, then select the faces you want to resize and scale away using the S hotkey. You can join the light emitting mesh to the main design using the join objects operator. Use this instead of using the vanilla Ctrl-J to join objects, so the add-on can separate the mesh back to the original meshes using the split mesh operator. And just like that, we now have a simple crate model you can use for your scene. You can use this workflow again to create multiple variations of this model and assign them as asset to the asset browser so you can easily drag and drop them to any project. So that is it for this video. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Check out the links to my stores and Patreon in the description. If you have any questions, just the comment section below. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.